There are 10,000 New York City police officers who are yet to receive the juice. And as of yesterday's deadline, now they are supposed to be put on unpaid leave. Can you believe there's people out there that actually think this is for your safety? All right. According to the State of New York website, there are approximately 53 police officers to every 10,000 residents. Let's do some math. If 10,000 residents gets 53 police officers, that's 188 people per police officer. If you lay off 10,000 police officers by 188 people, that's 1.8 million people. If the city of New York has 8.4 million people, 1.88 million people is what percent of the total population? 22! If 22% of the population is not protected by this 10,000 cops, that means one in every 5 people in New York City will have no cop to protect them. If you look at this stat from the City of New York Police Department, there are 78,000 crimes so far this year. These are the crimes we're talking about. Nothing too small here. 78,000 crimes divided by 10 months. 7,800 a month divided by 30. 260 crimes a day. So if there's 260 crimes a day and you get rid of 10,000 police officers, could you imagine how many more crimes will occur now that they know, because it's in the newspaper and everywhere online, that these cops are not on the beat? You know how unsafe it makes it for the other cops that are on the beat, and obviously for the residents? Plus, considering how unsafe it will be for the existing cops that are already there, where do you think that they're going to spend the least of their attention? Obviously the places that have the most crime, because that'll be the most unsafe place for the officers. And since New York City has really strict laws about you having instruments in which to protect oneself legally, you're pretty much a sitting duck without these officers. New York City law prevents residents from carrying all types of things that could be used to protect themselves. This includes brass knuckles, stun guns, and mace. You can't even have a slingshot. Now this goes far beyond even just the police officers in New York City. You're also going to see a shortage in ambulance workers, firefighters, and even things like trash collectors, which is not very safe for your health. Now Mayor Hot DeGarbio said that they have some protocols in place that will help prevent there being some type of crisis, aka the manufactured crisis that this is actually going to be. What are these protocols, you ask? Well, they include mandatory overtime and extra shifts. Dude, interesting. So mandatory overtime means overtime pay, which means that's going to be really expensive for the taxpayers. Sounds like a big waste of money. You know where taxpayer money comes from? The people. You know who's going to have to pay for it? Everyone. Now, if you're forcing those other police officers and city workers to do mandatory overtime and extra shifts, you think that might, maybe disenfranchise those people that have already had a pretty rough year and a half to maybe not keep that job anymore because you're forcing them to do this? Even though it's more pay, it's still being forced. Aside from that, in a really dangerous job, for example, like that of a firefighter or a police officer, being tired or working extra long or mandatory shifts could be very hazardous to your safety or the safety of the people that you're supposed to protect. Even the slightest split-second lack of sharpness could be devastating. Mayor Hot DeGarbaggio in the street, because of his garbage rules, said that the slowdowns in sanitation are, quote, unacceptable, and that they're now going to move to 12-hour shifts and begin working on Sundays. In a virtual news briefing this week, this garbage merchant said, quote, my job is to keep people safe. My employees and 8.8 million people. And until we defeat the Corona clap, people are not safe. If we don't stop the clap, New Yorkers will die. Bro. Right now, the 7-day average daily deaths in New York City from the clap is 8. 8! There are nearly 400 murders a year in New York City. 400, which is more than one a day. And the clap is at 8. Now, I can spare you the obvious details of these numbers and how obviously there's some financial incentive for these numbers to be the way that they are, and we know the average age that these people are, and we know all of the things that they may have because we've all been paying attention this year. So what is the 8 really? But whatever, I'm not saying it's not really 8, but you understand. I don't know about you, but I think taking away 20% of the police force, taking away parts of the fire department, ambulances off of the street, trash piling up, doesn't sound like that's going to be too safe for people. Even if you just look at the normal existing crime statistics, just removing the cops alone creates a tremendous amount of hazard, especially considering that all of these crimes have been up this year anyway. The fire department said that they may need to close 20% of the stations, and ambulances may be down 20% as well. You're talking 20% across the board. Police, fire, and ambulance. Yo, hello. Look at this firefighter rally outside de Blasio's mansion. I feel you, bro. We're not even 2 full months from the 20th anniversary of September 11th, where all of these clowns were out there being like, wow, thanks to they protect, never forget. Never forget. Well, it looks like they forgot. And aside from just how preposterous all of this stuff even is, let us not forget, there has been a juice available to every person that wanted to take it to protect themselves for probably about, nearly a year. And just in case it wasn't already glaringly obvious, all of these police officers, firefighters, ambulance workers, and city workers, well, they weren't able to work from home through all this, which means while everybody else sat at home and got paid, while all of this stuff ravaged the entire country and the entire world at large, all of these people showed up to work. So just like the nurses, healthcare workers, frontline heroes are frontline heroes, they went out there and braved it and caught all of this garbage praise for the last 18 months only to get clapped here in the end when we're already all the way through it, already protected, and all of the numbers are way down. Every single person out there that was celebrating these people that stands idly by while this stuff happens and lives under the illusion that this is for your safety, you're clueless, dog. Stay clueless.